Now, Chester, I got a difficult question. Or maybe it's not difficult. But a lot of situations where, let's say people want to have a self-advocacy group. And a lot of agencies say, well, we don't get funding for self-advocacy. What do you got to say about that? Like,
Well,
if the agency is supporting self-advocacy and if the money issue is the reason why, then what do you tell those agencies?
well, any of the money that they receive from Albany, I'm sure that they can make a portion of that money available to support people with disabilities, because their agency is about people with disabilities. It's not about the agency and who they are. It's about the needs of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, because without the people, they would not be there. They're there to serve. So whatever portion of money they get, I'm sure that they can find a portion for to support self-advocacy. And actually, that'll be one of the things that I will be advocating for, that I do advocate for in Albany. And also, Commissioner Ritter is very committed to putting people first, making sure that the lives of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are the first order of business. So if there's any agencies that are listening to me, they should understand that that's the first order of business, is the people and their needs. And self-advocacy is an important part of the needs of people, because for the statewide board of self-advocacy, Commissioner Ritter does come to the meetings, and we also network with representatives from the governor's office. So to them, self-advocacy is important. So if self-advocacy is important to them, where they come to the meetings and listen to us, agencies should also take note from that and figure out that it's important to them.
I just want to point out, you know what I've been doing for the advocacy? To be more direct, to get work, jobs in.
Yes.
Well, we already had our voting in the workshop on the Chinese Unlimited. I'm a part of that because I'm now a member of that group. I'm the head leader of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're helping them.
Yes.
To find some employment.
Yes.
Opportunities.
Yes.
Well, actually, there are some national organizations and some jobs that are available to organizations to bid on, that they opened. The federal government actually opened up the contracts and things. So I'm sure that they might look into some of those, because I know some organizations up in the northern part of our state that went for some of those federal grants, and they're now doing some, work for, some of the armed forces, from the Army contracts and things like that. So some of those things can be available.
Now, Chester, I know we got a limited amount of time, and
Yes.
I wanted to get this out. SABE, where do they stand on the word retarded for people with intellectual disabilities?
Well, I'm glad I'm sitting down in this chair and I don't have my stick in my hand, because I would open a can of stuff.
Open a can of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff to open up there.
That's not an appropriate word, and it's just what we've been talking and advocating across the country against this movie, Tropic Thunder, because they've used that word. And it's an issue now where we're talking to people across the country that that word is just as bad as any other ethnic word that you can use to call a person. It's just as bad as I don't like the big N word.
You don't like the big N word.
Right. I mean, that's bad. And the
Yes.
R words is in that category. So
That-
to put it bluntly, anybody that says that word is disrespecting people. They're discriminating against people. So it's not a good word. In fact, I was in my cafeteria the other day getting some food, and this lady called her coworker the R word, and I proceeded to talk to her and told her that that wasn't appropriate. And she goes, "Oh, well, that's my friend. It's okay." I said, "No, it's not. It's not okay for you to call anybody that word, whether they're your friend or your husband or anybody. That's disrespectful. That's, calling them a name, an ethnic name. That's not their name. That wasn't the name that was given to them." See, Sam, you give me a limited amount of time and you open a can of worms and I get fired up and ready to talk, and, you're trying to,
Well, we could do, like, you could come back, next month and we could do it. If
Well,
you want to.
Next
But-
month is going to be very tight, but I'll try to do something. Actually, what I want to do is take some footage of the meetings I have down in Washington and what's going on before the inauguration and send them back to you. So I do want to do that.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to say, and I know Earl want to say,
Yeah.
thank you for starting this show.
Well,
Because it gives a lot of people with developmental disabilities a chance to speak up and say something that they wouldn't like to say. And we try to do that on every show that we do, ever since you and Self-Advocacy Association started this
That's more power.
TV show.
well, that was the intent. You're carrying on the tradition of talking about issues that affect people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but also letting the community know that they're also a part of our lives, and we believe in the community, and hopefully they believe in us.
Well, thank you very much, Chester, for being on the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And me and Earl would like to
Yes.
say,
Thank you to have us here tonight for the advocacy. We'll see you next time until we say au revoir and fiancé. Thank you.
and for me, have a great self-advocacy day, as BJ Stasio says. And have a great self-advocacy week. Good night.